We're actually live?
Blaze is actually live.
Oh, okay. Will, Billy, how have you been?
I'm doing good. How you doing, man?
I'm pretty good. We got a new guest with us here.
Happy to be here, guys. Willy
yeah.
Vlasic from Vlasic Labs.
Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you, Billy. Can't wait to try the Blue Diamonds. Absolutely heard so many things about them. I mean, they're obviously a wave to be reckoned with, and can't wait to see them live up to the hype. Possibly.
Yeah.
What excites you most, man? Is it to see how they burn, the taste, what it makes you want to try them?
Honestly, the flavor is, I mean, all I chase in life is the terps, and I'm excited to see, you know, if it burns and tastes like a normal diamond, like I'm used to. I mean, we brought some couple of varieties, some Georgia pie, and Billy brought, what'd you bring over here to compare? I mean, we can...
These are actually my terp stones sitting in the terp sauce that they grew in.
So I'm excited to see how I could compare it to, like,
Will, explain that. Explain that a little bit, what you mean by they grew in the... Because I can already feel my phone vibrating, so just start explaining that one right now.
Unfortunately, I can't explain that.
Cool.
That's,
At least I can sum that up right away. I can make that easy for when people ask. So this is part of the Will Billy Tech.
This is part of the terp pearl tech. These actually are the stones that encapsulate and co-crystallize with terpenes. If we can get a close-up, you can actually see that these stones are very, very different looking and have some unique structures in them. I'm not going to walk out there, though.
No, you don't have to. You know, we can just talk about it. I was just curious. So, I always ask my favorite question, Willie. This can be done with any strain?
Yes, this can be done with any strain.
Pretty stable for sauce.
Yeah, that's some older stuff.
Yeah, not going nowhere.
Yeah. A lot of people ask me about the
Not
stability
cold.
of my sauce. And my honest answer to that is cannabinoids. Most people are fully removing their extra cannabinoids from the sauce just to get, terpenes and at that crude terpenes. My sauce would actually test higher than most people's basic extract still. So it is a extract in itself.
So, Willie, do you think with all the new tech going on with concentrates, I guess over the last couple of years you could say concentrates have become, you can feel free to answer this too, since concentrates have become like a bigger thing, at least over the last 5 years. 5 years ago we were, dabbing hash only, or we weren't even really dabbing. You think you'll see it take more marketplace with the stuff that you guys are bringing out, or?
I think that concentrate is just getting started. A lot of people are unaware of higher grade concentrates, newer concentrates that are hitting the market, and just honestly in some of the states that are just coming online, the concentrates that are hitting the market are really bad. So it's going to take a while for everybody to finally start getting products that's worth the changeover.
Describe a bad concentrate, in your opinion, to us, Willie.
Maybe let you take that one.
In my opinion, I
Sure.
would say something made from bad input flour that's filtered and put through CRC to look good, but
What does CRC mean?
color remediation chromatography, correct? You want to go more into detail about it? Filtering the color out to make an extract look lighter and more pure when it may actually not be of the highest quality, especially if it's from bad input flour that may have, different
Right.
issues.
Last week I talked a lot of smack about CRC. I've had a lot of people hit me up personally like, you're a hater. But
It can be used.
it can be used
Well.
and appropriately. But when you're using it, like you're saying, for low input biomass, that's not worth it in the first place, just to make it look appealing. And then that's where the problems start coming in. You start getting really gross tasting extracts that, look amazing, and someone can look at two things and not know the difference.
100%.
So it's not always about color. I know a lot of people I deal with a lot of shops. I have a lot of friends who have shops, bartenders, whatever. It's color is. Are we at a point now where it's safe to say color means almost? I mean, you don't want a black looking tar. I mean, everyone knows that. It's common fucking sense. But do you think it's safe to say, Willie, we're at a point now where you really can't go off of color, or or would you want to say that, or?
I mean, I've had like 6-star hash, 5-star, 6-star hash that's like a light brown or even a brown that's a super high quality. But if you're going for, it depends what kind of extract you're going for and the consistency, and obviously you never want a black tar, and like
Right.
I haven't seen that in ages, and I hope I
Right.
never see it again.
Right. And that's what I was talking about, like some of the newer states, they still have black tar, they still have black shatter and fucking black wax. It's gonna be a while before some of these places catch on with like sugar wax and higher level live resin, fresh rosin.
Well, and even if they have the tech to make it, are they growing quality flower, and do they have enough to fuel their lab? In these
Exactly.
new states with the new growing markets. We're actually going down to Missouri. We just got plants in 5 days ago down there through the Chief and Mama J's brands, but we're doing extraction down there as well, and it's like we're going for super high end, like fresh rosin nug. Like within 4 hours of harvesting it, we have our own SOP, how we harvest it, extract it for the highest quality, sauce, diamonds, the whole 9 yards. And a lot of people, are like, do we really need to do all that in Missouri? And my opinion is,
Why would it matter?
bring them the best
where?
products immediately. Like, we know what to do. Let's go and like bring the people of Missouri amazing products. And
Yeah, why would the people of Missouri not want to try fire?
they want
That makes no
consistent
sense.
liquid live resin carts, and they want THCA diamonds. They want CBN 1-to-1s.
Sorry, that brought me to a dope ass memory. We're working on reformulating a bunch of Fuego cart products. Is that something we can speak about a little bit?
Yeah, we can speak about that a little bit.
What does that look like? I know we were saying it's going to look more like a full spectrum, or like, what could people expect to see different between the carts we had out now and the ones that are coming in the future, I guess?
The carts that we have out now are, some of them are, basic blends and not standing out from the market is how I would put it. We want to change that. We want to offer the best products available. So we're actually taking some of the better grown weed we can get, some of the better live resin that we can get, and taking just the terpenes from it. That way we can give you the best profile, the best flavors, the best.
So you're saying more of an actual like cannabis-based cart
Exactly.
versus like bubble gum and all the gimmicky shit.
Right. Nothing botanical derived. Everything's natural. We're trying to.
Gimmicky shit.
I don't like the term live resin because we killed the plant by this point, but as full spectrum as we can get. When we are processing our THCA, we're trying to leave it in as many minor cannabinoids as possible. That way you get that full spectrum effect. You'll see things like THCV, CBG, CBN even. In our
THCV,
products.
that's something new.
THCP, THCO acetate,
Yeah.
CBNO acetate.
THCH.
Oh, I can speak fancy languages too. No, I'm just playing.
A lot of these new, techs that are coming out are obviously about purifying these different cannabinoids in different ways that are.
Do you feel a fresh
ideal
from
for
those,
the-
Willie? Those other
Um,
cannabinoids you just described?
THCV, it is considered a non-psychoactive. It would probably depend on what you're actually getting. If it's THCVA and it's decarboxylating into delta 9 THCV, you're probably going to get a nice stimulatory effect from that. If you're getting delta 8 THCV, you're probably going to get a more medicinal effect, but without any psychotropic effects.
It's important too, when making finished products with all these cannabinoids for the customer, that we, obviously make them as bioavailable as possible, which
Exactly.
is why we're exploring the different variations of each, cannabinoid and what other properties are introduced with it to the.
So you feel it's
to the
better to
customer.
call it full spectrum for that reason because it's going to have so many different components in it
It's
versus like
offering
distillate or
as close to the plant as you can actually get, but it's not alive, so I don't like to use the term.
Well, yeah, I mean, most people sell live in this state, and it's not real live. I mean, that's just a gimmick. I mean, not guy'll have trim from 6 months ago, and because when he blasted it got cold, it's live. People just have like the dumbest analogies, bro, on how they can justify what they do.
Right.
But yeah, I respect you not wanting to call something that it's completely definitely not.
Right.
It's always a nice thing when people don't do that.
And a lot of carts, when you look at them, they're heavy in delta 9, and they don't offer anything else. And you're basically getting that broad spectrum high. So when you're offering these other, cannabinoids with it and the live terpenes, you're causing a synergistic effect that actually changes the psychotropic profile.
So I'm going to ask you this one first, and I'll ask Willie afterwards. What do you think sets your brand? You said it was Chief. You can talk about it for a minute, explain a little bit where you came up with it, if you would. But what's going to make Chief? You're talking about Missouri. What's going to make Chief, different than the other brands on the shelf?
For sure. So, one, our experience. We've been growing, and our team's been growing for 20 years out west, and we've developed a really strong brand in Washington called Mama J's. It's a top 3 indoor, boutique brand in Washington State. Really tough market. We've grown there, and in Oregon now Chief is out there as well. We've launched it in Michigan. Our first harvests are coming out great.
Tough because a lot of people there, or just because a lot of people?
The market's just tough. It's just a much more mature market. I mean, higher prices, way more operating businesses. Washington and Oregon have a lot of licenses. But,
So bigger playing field. So people watch and understand what you mean. So it's just a lot bigger of a playing field out there.
Yeah, and we're doing great out west, but we're from Michigan, and we have more grows going up in Michigan than any other state, and we want to do our best by the people of Michigan and just bring the best flower we possibly can, best live resin, best full spectrum extracts that we can bring to the market.
When you say what makes you how do you grade the best? Like, do you go by terpene profile, potency?
I mean, so like for me personally, I'm always like, I just want what tastes the best and gets me extremely high. Like, I don't care about the numbers. I just want it to smell and taste amazing and hit me in the chest. So
you're looking for the body high?
Body high, head high, I need it to hit me and I need it to taste amazing. And that Point Break, the THC is not super high on it, but it tastes incredible and hits you in the chest, and it's an incredible head and body high hybrid effect. Not that hybrid is really a scientific term anymore, but
I mean, take you way off track, bro. I was just
you're good.
So you're gonna come with a full line. You're gonna do the flour. We were talking before the cameras are on. You have an edible division you're doing.
Yep, we got gummies. Gummies are going out, and they're in House of Dank, Elite. We're at Quality Roots.
Shout out House of Dank, bro.
You gotta.
Shout out House of Dank.
You gotta. 315.
By the way, they have some swag I gotta get you.
Yeah.
They wanted me to make sure you get it, so I will get it to you.
Fuck yeah.
Pin Canna.
Random money and shit. Pin Canna's some nice people too.
No, they're good people. Gotta get up north.
Well, whenever I go up north though, man, I swear, whenever I go to that area, I always wind up fucking going to Green Farm, man. I don't know if you've ever been over there. That's some good ass people. Shout out to Donnie.
Love Green Farm. OG wanted Detroit too.
Oh, that's what's funny, dude? They talk about this legacy program. If they were really going to go off legacy stores, they would have to give it to certain stores that have just been operating. Like, if you were risking your ass, risking everything, you should be grandfathered into that program. Kind of random side note, but just with us saying legacy, OGs. It's just sad to see that they're going to have to compete with people that didn't put anything in.
100%. The licensing is obviously, not fair. Michigan's had a great regulatory rollout for the most part, but certain cities like Detroit are just
screwed up, man. It's really messed up, and it's not fair to the people of Detroit.
They built it,
and
really built it.
That's who really suffered. It's funny because any way you look at it, it's the people of Detroit that suffered. Because they suffered, A, by not having easier access. They suffered, B, by the money not coming back into their city. And then they had to travel outside. It's just all around a stupid-ass program, man. So you got the gummies, you got the concentrates, you're doing the branded flour. Is it organic? Is there anything we should special note about the flour?
We grow for cookies, so we grow the exact same practices that they do out in Cali.
Whoa! You tried to say that and go quick, bro. You grow for cookies.
So we grow for cookies as well in Michigan. So we have the Chief brand, and then we grow for cookies and Sea Junkie. We have a new grow opening up in Warren. We have 2,000 lights that are coming up this year. So just get ready. Get ready for a lot of really
What is your
good flower.
favorite? If a motherfucker was in the store, right? They see your shit in the store, they only come.
The Point Break all day. Tropicana cookies crossed with wedding cake. Just citrus cake with gas on it. Perfectly cured. So terpy. Gets you so high. But you don't fall asleep.
But you don't fall asleep. What's the crosses of it?
Tropicana cookies and wedding cake. It's from Surface Seeds in Washington.
Here, you guys need one?
That Slippery Susan's real
Let's
good
take
too.
one over to them. Here.
She's like an ex, like a, you know,
Yeah.
There you go.
slipped right through your fingers. Old Slippery Sue.
I really like their papaya cookies.
Papaya cookies.
Yeah.
What's your favorite strain?
Want to break all day, bro?
No, like not. I mean, come on, man.
Of-
Not,
of
not
my
of,
shit.
Not of your shit. Like of all legacy
The
strains.
apple-
Like you know,
The OG shit or the new shit?
anything. If I was
The
like,
Apple
dog,
Mac-
you got one strain.
The
you
Apple
have.
Mac is dumb fire.
The Apple Mac.
From Sunset. It's so Sunset fucking Surfer.
Sunset Surfer.
The Apple Mac is so good, like
I'm fucking with this Lord's cake.
so good. The lemon cherry gelato from Backyard Boys.
Ooh.
Can't-
Cannot go wrong.
You know,
Cannot go
consistent.
wrong.
You know what's gonna be in the bag.
Yeah.
Should we expect to see you enter any cups?
Georgia pie too, though. The cookies you gotta watch it come out. Our cookies, the Ocean Beach
So you grow everything for cookies?
in Michigan. There's other people that do as well, but we just dropped a bunch of shit in the Kalamazoo store.
So if I go in, if me and Willie, you know, took the Ferrari and shot out to the fucking cookie store, how would we know what is from you? Like,
It
can
would
we,
say
can we look at the
it would
bag
say
and
it would
some
say
shit?
produced by EPS1 on the bag.
So EPS1. So for
But
everybody
it's
that
it's
watches
gonna be
this shit-
Chief soon. It'll say Chief on
Oh,
all
it's
of
gonna
it.
say Chief. Okay, so EPS1 right now,
Yep,
and you give that the stamp. They get that bag.
100%. Ocean Beach, 28% THC in Kalamazoo. Go get it. It's incredible. Granddaddy Pluto. It's like an OG like
Ooh,
kosher
Pluto.
with like a
That Pluto West Coast shit.
yeah. It's good.
How do you feel about the 48% THCA marijuana?
I
Always
don't
hit the internet.
I don't believe in it.
Me either.
I
Wait, are you talking about the shit I was sending around?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't believe
let's
in
talk about
anything
that.
over like
That's a great ass
35
topic.
to a point. Anything 40 plus is just not possible in terms of the mass of flour and what is physically in that.
Is it possible with doing the infusing shit, Willie? Let's talk about that. Like, let's actually talk about that. What is the highest you think you could see with infused flour? Like, what is the number? Let's just throw a ballpark out there. And if you can, explain how it would have to be done to get it there, and if you've personally ever smoked it or seen it. And I would like you to afterwards.
I probably won't go into how you can do it because then everyone will start doing it.
Okay.
But it can be done. I have seen people do it. I've done
It's
it
not just
myself.
pouring THCA. Let me just dumb this down. You can't just take a jar of THCA and pour it on the flour and then that's it, right? There's more to it.
No, that would look like some weird stuff, like powder all over. your
Powder
stuff.
rocks.
Yeah, it looked
Go
like something I wouldn't want to smoke. But people are utilizing unique ways to actually get the THCA into the bud
And
structure.
it stays on the body.
They're staying in the bud, yes.
Now, what is the highest that you think that should be tested? I personally seen one in Ohio, which Ohio's just a weird ass market, that said it was, I think, 51.7, but they broke it down and they did it by THCA and then they did THC. The THC was like 33 and then the THCA was like 50. It was wild how they did it. Is that still the same thing?
The THCA decarbs into the active THC as you smoke it, so that's common on the testing to see the lower active THC. But that's why it's unique to see it in the bud. Most caviar, most moon rocks, people are using activated or water hash to infuse their product, so you can actually physically see it, or you'll see it on the testing. People are now using, because of all the new isolates and techniques available, people are now using it to bump up their bud structure, bump up their potency, and probably only for some potency tests in general. They're probably not even doing it to everything, which is the fucked up thing.
So with the Blaze products that we're getting ready to do, you'll be able to, I guess I should be asking you, will they be able to see it on the way we're doing it, or would you say your method is going to be more of like, just looks normal but holds the potency?
Well, we're going to be transparent when we do it. It's going to be a marijuana infused product. So, it's not going to be flour. It's going to...
Well, it has to be labeled as that, like
Right.
under metric rules. I'm just
Right.
curious, like, will it actually be will it be a jar of flour, or will it be ground up flour like this?
It's going to actually be flour like that, real buds.
Like nuts that are
Yeah.
in there.
Yep.
What's the highest you've seen someone do that at?
I mean, testing out in Colorado, we were hitting like 55% before it started to actually become a crystal structure on the outside of the bud.
It's infused. As far as like non-infused, like just straight flour. Like,
Oh, the strongest flour I've ever naturally seen.
that's what I'm curious about. 'Cause,
was
like
this-
people saying they have 42% straight up flour is like,
The highest I've seen in Michigan, I think, is 35.
I've,
yeah, but I don't believe it.
I've seen 137% that I believed.
Well, they
it
say
was
there's
back
a
in
10
like 2011.
10% variable on that, right? So
It was
let's
like in
just
2011.
I don't know. I just
So let's just say it was
Medical
35.
marijuana was killing it in Colorado. On this bud, you could literally see the trikes just like growing out of it.
32 seems
And
high still.
when you put the lighter to it, that bud fucking like melted in half. And I've made a bunch of water hash. I've made a bunch of infused products. I've never seen trike heads perfectly stuck on a bud, stacked,
Yeah.
structured, and then melt into it.
Yeah.
It was some of the strongest weed I've ever experienced. It was.
yeah. There's
it
a
was
lot of
different.
stuff though that says 35%. Does not.
That was the only one I ever did. that was the only
Hey,
one.
I heard
ever
there's a
did.
lab in Michigan that got accused of like taking money to give people lab results.
I believe it. It happens.
It's a
every
joke. It
state.
was on the news.
I'm sure it was.
This is so weird how they grew, bro.
Almost like fractal.
They're
fractal
like, yeah.
crystals.
I mean, it's
Call it
fucking.
that. They're fractals.
Yeah, rename them. Where's the rig at? There it is. Let's
Yeah.
dab some. You want to go first, Willie?
Yeah, I don't know if we ever got the.
You need a
the
dab some?
piece, yeah.
I got a dab some in my bag. Here, in a minute.
You had the blue diamonds with you? They present?
Blue diamonds are growing.
They're
You're
growing.
going to get a sample though. Did you do all your own notes yet on your page? What's that?
Can I get that?
This?
Show everybody?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I'm growing a bunch of blue diamonds right now for a lot of people, but you're gonna get a sample. This thing isn't great for doing well shots, obviously.
Of course not.
So we're gonna get you a sample that way you can take it home, post it up on Vlasic, shout us out. Just shout out some more people too.
Yep, will do, of course.
But
Gotta share. I feel like every day I'm just giving out grams of this or a case of that. You know?
that's pretty much where I am. Everyone's like, give me the blue diamonds. I'm like, let me grow like 10,000 first.
I've been wanting to bring the stash and dashes back, but some of my partners aren't about it. Like it's like legal way.
Legality, I was about to say.
We
When
love it
little Johnny finds the bag.
for the culture. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah,
Leave
right.
them at a 21 plus like bar, like in a club. So
Yeah, little kid. I was just
I
randomly
need
behind
to
the
get it.
Coliseum.
Let Lily break it so he can see the break of the structure.
I wish I had a phone. I'm actually
Stash and
doing my
dash
damn,
CBN.
damn phone myself.
not happening.
Dense motherfuckers, right?
Yeah, I can't break one yet. Oh, there we go. Like pure white crystal inside.
Look at that, just. That's that yum yum.
Yeah, my sauce would test probably 70 to 75%, sometimes up to 80% cannabinoids.
Really great video. Just have to settle back down some of it.
I'll load us up a dab.
Fuego.
Huh?
Fuego. I gotta get one of
See the
these.
gram dab.
What,
I
the
gotta get the
chains?
V chain or something.
Get one, man. I'll take you to see Gary.
They want the gram or J Crown is the
I don't know if I'm
gram?
ready. I probably
They
am now.
want the
That I'm
gram
with
or
you.
J Crown is the gram now?
I'll share it.
Let's do the
Family
gram.
dab.
Let's do a gram, man.
Family dab.
I'm sure Willie, if Willie got something up, he'll give me a dab gram of.
I mean, that's pretty close right there.
That's
You
all.
got-
you got a
That's all
scale?
you get.
Ain't nobody got a scale here, so
No.
Because
we'll just dab till we're crying. It's the same concept.
I can make
As
it
long as you're
matter.
crying, all
Yeah.
that, it's not a big deal. As long as we're all crying.
Shit.
That's all you, Jay.
Hey, get this shit on. Bring the camera over here. That fucking, there they go. Woo. That was a good, like, wake up. I feel like it's like a new day.
I got
and
these
shit.
questions we gotta answer
Oh, sure.
for the families out there and the subscribers.
How often?
Do you think concentrates will take over
I
flour
asked
in the
him
near
that one.
future?
I worded that in a little different way. What does this one say?
How often did your team at the beginning face negative criticism, and how was it overcome?
Oh, the best way is to tell them to suck your dick. That's the best way to deal with a hater, bro. They love that. You can also delete their comments. I specialize in all of them.
Guys, we got Future joining in live.
Thank God. What's up, Future?
What up, Dustin?
No,
How's it
so
going?
criticism, bro, real talk, not to actually give you that answer, but that's honestly an answer that works. Future.
He's in, boys.
How you doing? What are you eating right now? Wagyu?
I wish we had a way to see him, bro. I'm about to walk over there and see him. I gotta see Future.
Jay's coming to check you out.
What up, G?
Hey, Future, we got a question for you. What sucks you apart from others in the industry? Oh, sets you apart. Let's go with sucks you apart instead. Whichever you want.
All right, see this way you can see Future.
Fuck yeah.
We definitely share that philosophy as far as how we do business over at Vlasic Labs goes. I mean, we can't take any shortcuts. I mean, and every business transaction we do, every partnership we do, we're trying to make other people happy, and it ends up making us happy. But when other people aren't happy, we do whatever we have to do to make them happy. And like people like Billy going above and beyond, like making these blue diamonds before anyone else. Like people thought about it, but he did it, and like that's what I would.
You gonna dab some blue diamonds when you come out here, Future?
Yeah, it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He says absolutely. I wouldn't expect any other answer. So hey, do you think we'll be able to give him a full gram dab for all the haters to watch?
I mean, that's up to him if he wants to take that.
Well, I was just figuring,
I
Future, I
will
already knew you
give
were
him a
in.
gram for sure. He can dab it how he pleases.
Density thing too, like a gram dab is gonna be like a gram and a.
Well, it's for science though, bro.
Do like
It's for science.
It's like a shotgun to the chest. Like could be great.
It's for science.
It is for science.
All in the name of science. In the name of Willy Billy.
Huh?
I'm gonna put it on my gravestone. And then he did a 1 gram blue dab, and that was the end of the future.
The future was done.
The end of the future.
Willie, are you still planning on going through with having Photon take a look at what you got going on and just kind of giving his honest opinion of the, potential safety?
Yes, I am. We're getting all of our COAs together. That's something he asked for, was a full analysis, everything that we have to offer, basically. So we're making sure that we have everything when we send it over to him. Nothing left out.
Sure. Now, and yes, there's residual solvent COAs, which you guys noticeably mark off of the COA that you put up, but obviously that's going to be a part of your COAs that you put out to the consumers. But I'm not convinced that, a full panel COA, other than saying this is safe based on things that we know, is going to make much difference, right? Like it's especially with your 0.01% impurity. I'm not convinced that the COA is going to, any more COAs are going to tell us any more than what we already know.
when the solvent comes out, when the heavy metals come out, when everything else comes out, it's all going to read NR and MD. People are just picking bones
so
at this
mad.
point. We wanted to have it tested that night by Josh himself, the co-owner of Infinite Cal. He was in town. He said he would test it. So that's why we rushed to testing for that reason. But we wanted the best testing possible to prove the potency, which we claimed was 99.99, and it came through.
Well, and I don't think people actually understand how COAs work. They think that you can just send something off to the lab and they're going to tell you, you know, they won't just take some sample and say, here's all the things that we didn't know what were there, but we now know are there off of some completely random. It's like we went through this with a true terpenes thing. You can't just send an unknown to a lab and say, tell me what's in here.
Exactly. I have a lot of people arguing, oh, I'm going to send it to the labs, I'm going to figure out, and my point is, it's going to be in every COA. It's going to be in every plant that you test for. If you test it and you're looking for it and you know what it is, it's in the plant. So you got to just figure that out, and it's going to be, people are going to feel kind of stupid at the end. Some people are going dangerous routes, and that's something I would kind of like to bring up.
Have a smoke on it too, Will.
We've seen some people talking about using solvent dye as a chemical process for blue diamonds, and that's always something that we're trying to prevent out here.
Want a new one?
But that's one of those cases where we know what the solvent dye is. It's a natural pigment, and we could actually test for that in the long run. So there are ways to make sure that you're getting safe, clean product, and going through the long testing and the long haul, being transparent is the way to go.
Word. Yeah, I mean, it makes complete sense. I mean, I personally probably would have taken a little bit different rollout approach, but I think I understand why you guys rolled out the way you did, because, I mean, look at the freaking hype that you built up around it, and there's no bad publicity anymore. So, I mean, not at all knocking the way you guys have approached this. And like we said from day one, once this hits the shelves and is being sold to consumers, it's going to have to go through the whole, process. So until you're selling it to people, everybody else can just kick rocks, because the only people I've seen smoke it so far are the people that made it, right? Or someone like Willy, who's being a guinea pig over here. But other than that, like, by the time the customers get to it, they're going to have just as much testing and verification as the other product on the market. So,
If you've been smoking weed for 10 years, you've been smoking this for 10 years.
Yep.
nice. Yeah, there's a lot of people that anytime someone comes in with new disruptive technology, you're going to get a bunch of haters, a bunch of people that are
always
sick,
gonna
they've
be
been
haters.
spinning their wheels, not making money.
I thought I heard haters. I was like looking around, like, yeah, I already know. You know me, dude. Is Mike? Hey, Future, I think your mic cut out, bro.
Oh, shit.
Oh, there it is. Now you back.
Okay. Alright. This is one that I've been popping up a lot. People be comparing it to meth. And this ain't nothing new. CBD. When people first started crystallizing CBD, they said, oh, it looks like meth. And when people started crystallizing THCA, they're, oh, it looks like meth. It's like,
Exactly.
yeah, so does sugar crystals, so does salt crystals. Like, yeah, they're crystals. They look like...
Everything looks like something, bro.
Like crystals. Great. Incredible observation.
Yeah. Honestly, when you crystallize anything, it's going to look very similar to meth. That's why crystal structures are unique, but that's just the stigmatism that we as a society have put on that as, like, crystal
You
as
start
a,
saying that the meth look like weed. We're just trying to start flipping the book on them, like, no, bro.
I don't think that's good terminology. We should separate them as far as possible. But people who
That was never the goal.
don't want to use the product don't need to use the product. That's the great thing about the marijuana programs in these states, is there are multiple people out here like Vlasic, like Fuego, like Willbillies, and we're all going to have unique products. We're all going to have different things that we offer that, if you don't like one thing, choose another. You don't need to try anything. You don't need to buy anything.
Yeah, you want to smoke lipids? There's plenty of rosin on the market. Like, it's all good.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I've been smoking rosin for like a day, and my lungs actually hurt for the first time dabbing in like a year.
Yeah, you can just see it in the bottom of the banger too. Like, you want to chat the banger real quick, take some rosin dabs.
So you would definitely say all this kind of stuff cleaner than rosin then.
There's some that'll leave it
Normally.
clean.
Yeah. I mean, you can look at the swab that you just took and see how clean this is comparative to like a rosin. There's no fats and lipids, omega fatties in this.
Doesn't make it through.
It doesn't make it through. And that's not to say that rosin isn't good. There's ways to, clean up rosin, but it's just one of those things. I think if you're going to try to, say rosin's better than everything else, you should know exactly what's in it.
Yeah, and like you said, I had some fire rosin, like some crystallized, separated rosin. Like, people have gone crazy with that.
I got some cool stuff coming for the solve in this game. You guys are going to be excited.
They're going to be dumb mad. What you mean excited? They're going to be
Some blue rosin diamond.
I got some blue and some fucking purples coming for sure.
blue rosin diamonds.
Yep.
I just wanted to make sure we said it loud enough for, everybody to hear so they could really get ready to start hating.
Yep. They're going to be mad.
David said blue diamonds are neat, but it serves no utility other than looking nice. But see, David, you don't know what's going on here. You don't know the details of this product, so how can you make a claim like that? Just the fact that it's denser has a whole different, there's a whole bunch of implications that has, even just as far as like retail and packaging goes. When we've got arbitrary state regulations that limit the amount of what we can and can't do, the density changes up packaging and
He dumb man.
marketing out
Blue
to the
rosin
customer.
diamonds.
Not to mention, I guess the amount of high that they can get from X amount that's in the package. And furthermore, if this is terpenes being entrapped, like that's one of the theories that's going around, that has a whole wide range of implications where we can protect some of those terpenes. This is theoretical. I don't know what the process is or anything, but that was one. And I saw this, the girl that you guys invited to the forum, the pretty smart scientist type girl that's there. She brought up a couple good theories. And again, if the terpenes are entrapped, then you can protect them in the crystalline lattice, which prevents them from oxidizing. And these are just theories, but if anything, the utility that this has served is it's got a bunch of smart people talking and thinking outside the box. So we've already served utility. Who cares?
Right. And with the terp crystals, the co-crystallized terpenes, that's pretty much kind of what you're seeing. Crystallized terpenes are actually co-crystallizing inside the lattice of the THCA structure. When you look at certain terpene structures, they're very similar to THC, and certain terpenes actually, crystallize at room temperature, just sitting there. When you're able to crystallize them, that's even further making them a more pure product, allowing it to prevent oxidation and degradation.
Yeah, definitely. Anytime you can get crystallization is one of the highest and best forms of purification, usually the cheapest, if possible. So anytime you can get to crystalline, is ideal for purity steps.
Yep, we're doing a crystallization for CBN isolate over at Vlasic Labs, up to 99.95 cannabinoids, and isolate's the only way you can get, a pure input product for like making new products and formulating products. It's just so much easier to deal with,
And
Yeah, it's not the only way. It's just it's typically the only cost-effective way, right? We could run super expensive chromatography and get the purity, but how much is it going to cost? If it costs way more.
This was your stuff, right? Let me fuck with this one.
Right. And that kind of brings up a point. You were on IG messaging back and forth a little bit. You had asked if I had worked with CBD at all using this tech, and I've wanted to work with CBD and CBN, CBG with this specific tech and process to see if I can create better, thicker, denser polymorphs, allowing for a active form of crystal to be ingestible in a denser form. Same reason as I have created my edible recipe a denser, compact form will bypass your liver, the enzymes in your liver faster, allowing for a higher bioavailable uptake.
Nice, that'd be cool. Obviously, we need to prove these things out, but it's always
Right.
fun to
Everything's speculative until you can prove it, but that's the cool part about being the start, at the start of this industry still.
Big
There's
shots
still a
out
lot
there.
to learn.
Real fast, sorry, man.
It's insane. Like, I hate when people get mad about speculation. It's like, look, when we speculate like this, it opens up new avenues of conversation, and other people see that, and then they get their own ideas, and all of a sudden they're off doing it. You know, that's the whole point of communicating. That's an essential part of science.
That's got
Right,
such a good fucking
right.
smell to it.
I think I've been very intrigued by some of the people's ideas and ways of attacking not only this process, but just coming up with new ideas because of this process. Wanting to figure out what the next new thing is, because obviously we're not done yet.
Nice. Yeah, that's what I like to hear. So what's the drop date on these blue for the Michigan market? You got anything set up yet?
You guys get a big one.
Lab is coming online within 30
Look
days.
look at the manager in the background yelling at us. Calm down, boys.
We're looking for a March drop. That way we can get them in the market, get them in people's hands before April, and then come in hard for 420.
So we want to
make
see
them
people
available.
dabbing them on 420. The goal is to have people dabbing them by 420. Can we say that, manager?
Yep, we're going to be entering them up in
They'll
the
be
High
at the
Times
cup.
Cup.
They'll
Yep.
be at the cup.
Yep.
So that means it's going to be available at a handful of stores in Michigan, which means House of Dank will have it, which is dope. So, man, that's big news. Future, that means when you're out here, we should be able to get you some from the store for you to have with tags and everything to show the homies. I'll make sure I grab a couple from one of the stores for you.
Great. Yeah, that'd be dope. And I know how it goes with packaging and everything. Like, these things take time, so no stress or nothing. But that's good to hear. I'm glad to hear it, guys.
Yep.
He's got to have
Future, do you fuck with Surfer seeds? With Surfer?
Like SUFR.
Just 2 tabs on
Yes.
this.
Do you know him?
No, but I see there's slaps everywhere. I was at like Mount Bachelor a couple weeks ago, and like every other pole was slapped with with Surfer. But I don't know.
I thought maybe you would know him because he's from out there. Amazing genetics, Point Break, and golden pineapple and everything he has is amazing. Apple Mac. We'll get you some flour when you're here too.
Take it easy, guys.
See you,
Have a good
brother.
one.
Later, brother. Do in the middle and stop dabbing. Yeah, facts.
Good one. They want to know. You said you can make trim into the blue diamonds.
Yep. I can turn trim into the blue diamonds.
They die.
Yes.
Okay.
He did. The process is 100% plant natural. It's in all cannabis. That's why I keep trying to explain to people. It is a natural found cannabis derivative. It's there. You just gotta look for it. If you've been smoking pot your whole life, you've been smoking this your whole life, if you've been smoking diamonds for 5 years, you should probably try this.
Close up on the stones. I think he wants Future asked for a close up on the stones. Is he talking about these?
Yeah, maybe.
Here, the camera.
Do that too.
Yeah, so close up on the stones. What was some of the other questions, homie?
I got this right here.
What?
What was your come up like, Jay, even before the cannabis industry?
Oh man, we asking me questions? Jeez. It's funny you brought up OMS Dab House, bro. That was one of the first places I ever really started hanging around that there was like a lot of cannabis around. Mostly being there and being around like Sapo's place was the first place I got to see like a lot of like cannabis and different people in the culture. Prior to that, I don't really remember places there was for people to like meet up. I'm sure you remember Dab House was probably one of the first spots, at least for like Wayne County and Detroit, that you could go. I mean, I know you weren't out here, so this is like foreign language to you. But it was like one of the only spots, and then Flint had Vehicle City come on, which was another spot to go. But there really wasn't, besides the events, there really wasn't anywhere for us to all gather and shit. So prior to that, it was just everyone was doing their own thing. I just got lucky doing shit on the internet.
So, you have any plans for like any events or any
So there's a lot of people
social
that
clubs?
So there's actually some of our friends that are in the process. I don't know if they want me talking about it yet, but we have some people that are hopefully obtaining the club licenses, the event license, I should say, and they've already asked us to take part in it. I already ran it by management. They did say we could take part in them, so that would that hopefully is going to happen. That would be somewhere in Wayne County. I also have some friends that are more near the border. They're hopefully going to throw a music event. We're hoping to be able to take part of that in some capacity. We have a couple other things coming up with Fuego for the 420, for 420. I'm sure you guys will see it. We got some billboards, some cool shit we're doing.
Yeah.
How about you, Matt?
Doing the Hash Bash Cup. I mean, we're entering a few of the strains. We have the Good Life Gang event coming up on the 4th. As far as like the come up back in the day, I mean, the dispensaries in Detroit and like growing as a caregiver 5, 6, 7 years ago to the commercial, world now with all these companies coming in from other states. There's a lot of poor quality out there in Michigan, and like all I'm like focused on is like trying to
What do you think?
work with people that are producing good quality.
Let's get controversy. Fuck it. What do you think? What do you think the bad quality's from? You think it's from people that just have too much money, just jumping in this shit with no skill? Do you think it's just people not putting forth the effort they need?
Just going too big too quick and not having the financial wherewithal, or having so much money and no actual experience. Like, you can have all the technology in the world, but if you don't have good growers, like, it's not going to matter. Like the flowers in art, the concentrates in art, like, you need an amazing flower to make the best concentrate, and like being able to do all of that and sell retail and be a vertical that can do all of those things well with how like new the industry is just incredibly rare.
So Willie, being somebody from the out, I'm just gonna play off what you said to Willie because he's from the outside. Being somebody not from Michigan, I don't know if you'd been out here a lot prior. I assume you probably hadn't been too much. What do you think Michigan needs? Like when you were out considering coming here, like what were you like? This is what I see that's not right out there. They need like, is it better extracts? Is it like better just care to the extractions? Like from what you've seen, what do you think the improvements can be done?
Kind of like Willie is saying, just offering a better extract, better products, having better products, but also being able to get them into the store for the best price possible. Having that integrated, ability, having people work together, bringing each other up, basically stop fighting each other and work together to bring this industry to, the top, because there's a lot of opportunity here. The people here love the marijuana program. They're excited for both adult use and medical use. I see it. People just love it. It's like old Colorado before people just got, bored and stagnant. If we have the chance to, capture that and ride that wave. So I think that's pretty much what we need to do here, is just make it the exciting spot. Make this the next spot people want to come to.
And there are a lot of good companies here and good people making, good product and innovating. There's a lot of great things coming out of Michigan right now. As much as there is, other companies coming in and, a lot of poor quality product out there. But I think in the next couple of years, like the prices are going to get better for the consumers, and the poor quality products are going to be rooted out, and the market's just going to correct itself like it has in the other states. It'll be better for the end consumer.
Yeah. There are always concerns with cheaper product. As long as we can keep quality up and bring it as cheap as we can, that's something I'm interested in.
So assuming there's cannabis cups again, like events, is that something people could expect to see you at? Will you attend those?
Depending on whatever's going on in the world at that point.
in a good world, I'm saying, are you the type of guy that we could at least expect to see at an event?
You
like
would
that?
see me in person, yeah.
Okay.
If the opportunity is there, I'll be there.
100%.
I was not even going to ask because I knew, but I figured it'd be kind of rude if I didn't at least.
100%.
You miss those events?
Yeah, I do. I mean, and they can be done in a safe way, like if they have to be like socially distanced and masked up.
Yeah. I
If
agree.
they have to be.
Right.
I'll be there no matter what.
Yeah. Even in the parking lot.
You know what I missed a lot about the Cups, man, and I'm sure you remember this, is trying to get there early so you could get by certain booths to get seats. Like, the real race, at least for me, when I went to the Cups, was trying to get seeds. And not that I was some great grower. I was getting them for my friends that were great growers that sure as hell weren't going to come to those events.
Yep.
But it would always be cool. You know, we'd have the quick race to a couple booths to try to stock up the genetics. Then you'd race over to the one or two booths that had the exotics you wanted to get that were going to sell out.
Yep.
I missed the hell out of those events, bro. To me, that was cool because it was like cannabis is supposed to be what brought all of us like together and shit. And when those events happen, you actually see it in the large capacity. Like, you know, it's like for 2 days, people just forget about all the bullshit. We all get to hang out, you know, kick it, smoke, eat some not so good food, but you're high as hell, so it don't really matter.
Smoke 10-gram blunts and.
Guy walks around with a leaf blower full of weed, you know, just normal shit, high time shit, bro.
Oh yeah.
You been to a high times, Willie?
I've been as a fan. I've never been able to participate myself.
So you've went to one and attended one though?
Yeah, I've been out in Colorado.
You ever been to a Cali one?
No, not the high times.
Michigan one?
No.
See, he missing out, man.
Yeah.
Hash Bash Cup?
Oh,
See, Willie, you missing out, bro.
Good Life Gang event.
not yet.
You've been missing out, dude. I'm telling you, the guy's not living.
Hash Bash is coming up too at the same time.
So
yeah.
how,
Glass Project, Michigan
Glass Project. Oh fuck,
At the
bro,
Russell.
you're naming like legacy events to me. At the exactly at the So, since we're on that topic, Cannabis Cup at the Russell or Clio? Which one are you choosing? Both rec. Any performer, none of that matters. Location only. Which one are you picking? And parking does matter.
Is it?
Parking does matter because Detroit's parking suck. Luckily, shout out to Kid Vicious for making me be with
Is
the
it
music team.
limited at the Russell? I mean, how
No, it's any amount of fucking people, cram them all in there. I'm saying, do you like seeing a small town like Clio have it where there's nothing, like the whole town's only known for the cannabis
Yeah,
cup? It's
I
there's
do.
nothing there but a cup.
I would rather have it in Clio because it's going to be a better event because it's just a way more open space and it's where it's always been, and it does bring a ton of business to the town.
See, I like it in Clio too, and I'm a Detroiter. You know what I mean? I always root for
Michigan
the
Glass
city.
Project at the Russell is also, in my opinion, almost a better event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I
Oh no,
love
it is.
It's just such a unique
I really like
It's
how
an amazing event.
they have the cup when they have it at Clio because it's funny. Like the real party starts at Vehicle City the day before, then it spills into the hotels, then it goes into the pre-setup for the cup. It's not a 2-day event, man. It becomes like a fucking 4-day, and there's just nothing like it, man. I swear that used to be like the best part of any summer for me was the 2 cannabis cups. Detroit was cool, don't get me wrong. I had a blast there, but the way they did Clio, man, there's just not the one
Yeah.
that when Clio really blew up. Were you at the one when they finally went rec and there was the line was through the town back
Yeah.
into Flint?
Yeah.
That was the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, I remember after I had about 20 dabs and 15 blunts, I would just walk straight to my car and started driving.
This guy says you're a legend, Will Billy. Emerald Cup, man. I wish I could have went to an Emerald Cup. Did you ever attend an Emerald Cup?
I've never been to an
I
Emerald.
wish, man.
See, no one here has been to an Emerald Cup. Yeah, I don't think Future will put his name in.
We're Detroit boys.
We're
Either
Detroit
you guys
boys.
spend
Yeah, we
any
can
time out in
make.
Cali, working in Cali, either of you?
Colorado.
Just Colorado?
Yeah.
I've been to Cali. a
I've been
bunch.
consulting, pretty much most of the West Coast, but never anything solid out there. My first lab operation I built out in Colorado.
He's a Colorado guy. Yeah, Will Billy.
Yep, from the hills.
From the hills. When was the first time you made the Blue Diamonds? I remember you saying this wasn't something super new to even you.
No. This is something I've told people a lot. It's a process that's existed for a while. I'm just the first to apply it to the cannabis space. When I was in college, my professor and a person who worked at Pink House introduced me to a scientist who basically introduced me to this form of organic chemistry.